Okay. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Today we're going to be playing Empyrion because, well, everybody else is playing World of Warcraft, so...
Greetings.
Hi, Verity. So, I want to work on this. I need to work on my space station today. I gotta work on trying to get that up and running. Try and get that central core made. Then we'll start working on other things. Other things? Other things. Hey! Didn't spawn inside of a block this time. Ain't that nice? Okay. So this is what we're working on. Fucking space station. That's what we're doing. Okay. Let me do something real quick. Firing up Discord, mostly because, yeah. Behind the scenes. Things you have to do as a streamer. I stopped tweeting out the stream. Mostly because, well, not many people are paying attention to that, so. Especially with how Twitter is right now. I'm not surprised that a lot of people aren't looking on there. Oh, that's opening up. And take the blocks that we have here. The jetpack stayed on this time, which is great. Normally that doesn't happen. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, right now it's just going through, adding more levels. We're trying to get to the point where it won't let us go anymore. I want to just see what the maximum height, and therefore we'll know the maximum width. This is a test in the game's ability to deal with large structures. We're gonna make we want to make as large of a structure as the game will allow us. That is what we're doing. Nope. Okay. We're gonna have to constantly find more and more blocks here. To this side. Not that way. That way. Okay. blue, 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 blue. Yep. There we go with that. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep. Yep. There we go. Add some more floors to this thing. When you're this far back, it doesn't look like much. It doesn't look that big, but it's gonna be big. It's gonna be a design that we're gonna just be making up as we go. Just a second here. Advertising. Okay. Okay, now that I got that out of the way, turn on main power. Turn on main power.
Engaged.
There we go. Takes a while. Wait, do we even have to go down? No, I don't think we do. I think we've got more blocks on board. Turn on main power.
Not an option.
Turn off main power.
Acknowledged.
Trying to remember the controls. Still a little bit tired this morning. Okay, let's go on the blocks here. Iron and steel blocks. Go up to 200. Let that go. Yeah, once we get to maximum height, there's a whole point behind this. We're trying to get to maximum height, so we know exactly how much room we get to work with when it comes to a BA structure, a base structure. From what I've been told, it's 250 blocks. But soon we're going to find out if it's 250 blocks or 250 meters, because we're close to getting to 250 meters. That was M. Let's find out. Let's see here. Check. Yeah, it's 158 meters high. Yeah, the height is 250 meters. We haven't even dug into our battery power yet. These solar panels are just... they're working pretty good. Dum dum dum. Grab that. It's half the blocks we need. We need so many more, though. So many more blocks. Try this. There. Boom, boom. Let's go here. Nope. Try this again. There we go. Okay. Making some progress on this. Making progress. There we go. Also, I'm trying really hard not to turn this stream into a World of Warcraft stream. As much as I would love to be playing that game right now, I'll save that for after work. That farm is definitely going to have to be redone. Seeing the size of how big this, seeing how big this space station is going to be able to get, I'm definitely going to need to make the farm bigger. Just for the sense of scale, really. I did not want that. There we go. Because the sense of scale on this thing is just... it's up there. But that's the good thing. I want this thing to be huge. Oh, we're out of blocks. Okay. Out of steel plate. Looks like we're gonna have to go hunting for steel plate. Other side. We're gonna have to get something to eat here soon. Let's go into our tiny farm and grabbing what we can. There we go. Okay, so let's check here. Nope, can't do that. Be right up next to it. Okay. So that's Z, X, O, Y. I think it's Y and Z. Try that. So let's do this. This. At the base, symmetry, X, Y. No, that's X, Y. Symmetry, X, Y. Symmetry along X, Y. Do that. Gonna drop one. See if that works. Trying to figure out the whole... Nope. Okay, and on XY. Try symmetry. along YZ. Oh, yeah, that. Trying to figure this symmetry part out, because this will save us a lot of time. So we could just work on one side and it'll just drop blocks on the other side. Nope, still nothing. All right, one more time. XZ. Lock.
Executing now.
Unlock.
Initiating.
There's only 3 options. There's only 3 options for symmetry. Oh. I'm confused. Yeah, that's a fine example that we're just not gonna let us. That's unfortunate. Okay. Here. Symmetry, none. Symmetry plane, none. Oh, blocks. Okay. I'm also gonna take a quick peek over here. We've checked all options here when it comes to building. Nope. Okay. Okay. Collection. Nope. Maybe if I look at their collection, no. Yeah, all this stuff is not, it's not, you know, it doesn't work right now. Okay. Gonna get food. Get ourselves some oxygen. There we go. Food. Protein. Actually, I'm probably gonna eat this instead. Well, I wish this character would stop eating with his mouth open. Vegetables and grain. Turn the food processor on. 2, 3. Make burgers. Make the burgers. I do an oxygen. Let's fill up our oxygen tanks in a little bit. There we go. Seating capacity. Sniper rounds. Already loaded. Okay. Game's still in the early alpha, so it's not exactly perfect. Man, I really wish all these inventories were connected together, or at least I can choose what inventories they pull and drop to. Waiting for burgers to finish. I'm going to drop the water off here. Keep them all in one spot. Off. Put all the spoiled food together. Take that out. Make sure it's in the refrigerator so it doesn't go bad. Okay. Got oxygen for days. Weeks even. Okay, let's go get... Let's go and grab some steel plate. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to, you know, remove the floors once I'm done. Could probably remove them now. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Since these are going to be removed anyway. Do this. Save ourselves some trips. We'll make a structural ribs right here. Make sure we're not gonna put a hole through our... This will allow us to just kind of use up what we have here. I'm gonna make more of a skeletal structure this time. That sounds like a better idea. That way you can try and get to maximum height quicker. We're at the point where I feel like since these are going to be removed anyway, gotta be a little bit surgical here, just so we don't take out unnecessary, well, so we don't take out all the blocks. But once the space station's finished, it's gonna be pretty cool. And the cool thing is that this is not gonna, from what I plan on doing in this game, this is not even gonna be the only large structure we're gonna make. We're gonna have many, many large structures. And I'm thinking about doing something a little special later on, after the space station's up. 2 clicks takes out a block, so. This is a good practice in developing later designs here. There we go. Gotta do that for the other side too. There we go. Yeah, that's the bones of our space station here. Definitely gonna be going through a lot of these though. A lot of multi-charge. Then we have to take, once we're finished and this entire area is made, then we have to go through and make sure it's all airtight before we open up the top and bottom of the center part. Okay. Sweet. Ish. Does feel like taking one step back, but gonna give us, this is gonna make it to where we can move a lot faster. Should have done this in the first place and then tried to figure out flooring later. I was expecting it to be more like a skyrise rather than a giant core like this, so. There. Okay. There we go. 400. Yeah. 400 blocks I could have used for finishing this thing. So every 4 blocks we'll add another central core component. No, not that. Completely wrong. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Every 4, add a ring of squares. Okay. There we go. And we'll just do this. There. And let's just keep doing that. One each side. So it tells us to stop. One, two, three, 4. There you go. Let's go right here. Oh, there we go. Right there. Rotate. Symmetry plane? Tried. All 3 options. Didn't let me do it. Because I went into N here, connected the base, symmetry plan. I tried all 3 of these. None of them worked. None of the blocks were showing up on the other side of this giant cylinder I have here. So unfortunately, I have to do this manually. Yeah, I know. That's okay. It's okay. Just gotta do this the hard way. But, I mean, if you're making a structure this big, a symmetry would be nice, but I'm just trying to get the central core made here first. The giant central core here. I just want to see what the maximum height is for this, for a base. So I know exactly, you know, how much room I'm working with here. The good thing is that just having structural blocks doesn't cost power, so it's not like we're going to have to deal with, you know, At least we don't have to worry about power issues. 1, 2, 3, 4. But I'm doing it like section at a time. So every 4 blocks, we'll add one of these rings here. Before I was making just a floor, but this time I'm just doing rings. Save myself some blocks. And then I'm going to put windows in between each of those ribs so that the entire central core will have all these windows. And that this will allow us to get around our space station a lot faster. And this is where all of our capacitors, all our generators, all of our infrastructure is going to be located inside this central core. Yeah, we'll make this section, and then we'll go to the other side and make another section down there. I'm trying to keep the where the docking pad is currently right now, the center. Because over where the docking pad is where the core block is. I want the core block to remain in the center of everything. Looks like finished product will be huge. Yes. This is gonna be a giant space station. This is the main space station for my playthrough here. But this central core is where all the other sections of this base is going to be located. In fact, I've already made a list of all the things I'm going to add to this space station. After seeing how large the central core is going to be, that farm has got to grow. That farm has got to get bigger. It's a 0G farm, so once they get fixed, only 1/4 of it can be used. But once they get it fixed to where you can use all 4 sides of it, I'm going to make this thing a lot larger, and we're just going to have farms that are kind of circled around the central core where all of the lights are going to be located. And that thing has to grow. That thing has got to get bigger. But we're going to have 2 of those farms. So 2 of those farms are going to be located on this base. We're going to have at least we're going to have at least, oh shoot, I filled it in. There's going to be at least 2 dry docks. And dry docks are going to be used for large CVs to dock. We're going to have another docking pad for SVs, small vessels. We're going to have 2 observation rooms that are going to be located on the top and bottom of the central core. We're going to have a constructor room, so where all of our constructors are going to be located. We're going to have the first aid station. Did the devs say they were going to change the grow plot rotation limit? No, but I did suggest it. I did suggest that they should fix that, because you can rotate the plots. You can rotate the plots and place them in whatever direction you want. Problem is, you can't plant in any direction you want. Which, I mean, limits the type of bases you can create in space. I don't think they thought that anybody would ever make, a 0G space station like this. But that's why I'm building it. 1, 2, 3, 4. because in my opinion it limits the just having gravity put onto every single space station you have just kind of limits, because then you're removing like 3 other dimensions of space that you can work with. You know, you can have more stuff compact into a smaller area. Okay, put it right over here. Plus, I like the look of these beams here, the way they look. Okay, that's all 4 sides, yes. And we do this. Let's see it that way. Go this way. I think it rotates like, nope. Eventually we'll find out what the height limit is, if we ever get there. I've been told it's 250. Now, I don't remember if it's 250 meters or if it's 250 blocks. I think we're well beyond 250 blocks at this point, so it's probably 250 meters. And last I checked, we were at like 160 meters. So eventually here, we are going to hit maximum height. And if that's maximum height, that means that will explain how far we can go in width and depth also. So the maximum area is supposed to be 250 cube. So yeah. And this, if this is what I think it is, let's see here. Check. Yeah, we're at 190 meters right now. That's 190 meters in height. So yeah, it's gonna be a huge structure. I'm thinking about maybe even adding small pillars connected to this thing, just to kind of give it some cool design to it. I don't know, just for flavor, I guess. Maybe. Gonna start on this side. Okay. Like this. But yeah, until they fix the farm issue, pretty much the farm is on hold. So that's fixed. But eventually we will expand that thing as soon as that's fixed, though. Yeah. Kind of a weird collection of my own music, but it's mostly a collection of soundtracks from games that I've enjoyed in the past. We've got everything from all 3 Mass Effects. We've got all 3 Mass Effects. We've got World of Warcraft. We've got Skyrim. We've got Halo. Well, Halo 4 in particular. Kind of one of those interesting collections of both fantasy and sci-fi. that. Our next task is going to be figuring out our fuel woes. Because the game is randomly generated, so unfortunately a lot of the planets we've gone to so far have been like lacking in the Protheum ore department. Ah, okay. More blocks. Well, that gained us a couple of more meters onto the central core. That's always good. Okay. Check here. 206 meters. We have. If it's 260 meters, well, if it's 250 meters, then we'll know here really soon. Once we add a couple of more meters to this thing. Yeah, this thing's gonna be huge. And it's gonna be awesome. Yeah. Eat something. That's one thing I wish they would remove. Is that you can't just, you know, turbo click all these components. You have to wait for the sound effect to stop before you can click it again. Which is a tad irritating. Turn on main power.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Then we drift. But yeah, it's gonna have dry docks, it's gonna have observation towers, it's gonna have a first aid stations, you know, a first aid section, it's gonna have a constructor section, it's gonna have storage, it's gonna have solar batteries, a generator room, they have a food processing room, and eventually here on the other side of this planet that I'm around, I'm also going to put we're going to have to reload the game. Yeah. We're also going to have like kind of like a museum kind of a deal. Not museum of my, you know, not a museum of my designs, mostly a museum of designs on the workshop, just as reference for myself. Okay, I need a spot to land my ship here so we can reload the game. I can fix this issue. Currently right now the terrain doesn't... Oh shoot. Of course, spiders. They can actually damage my ship. I'm not too careful. I'm not exactly in a ship that's heavily armored. Okay. Turn off main power.
Acknowledged.
And we have to do this. We have to quit out. Go back in. It's a bug with the I'm thinking it's a bug that has to do with starting your game in space. When you go and look, if you're not on the surface of a planet when you first load in your game, for some reason it has difficulty loading in terrain when you go to the nearest planet. And that's what I think is going on. Turn on main power.
Confirmed.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but it makes the most sense. Got radiated fog, ain't that nice? But this is our little tiny ship that could. It's designed to kind of move around from location to location really quickly. It's something that we're going to have to redesign eventually down the road, but it works for now. Before we started major work on the space station, we were working on trying to make ourselves a mining setup, which is, it's a CV that is designed around a loading bay, which you can load in a HV, which is designed for mining. So this setup allows you to basically fly around 3 ships at the same time, so that you can go to a planet, scout around, find all the deposits, land the CV, and unload the HV that's designed for mining. Mad Melly, thank you for the host. Rocket space bike yet? Nope, not yet, Conwiz, not yet. And we needed to get that. We needed to figure that out so that when we run out of wrecks to salvage, that we could just go out and just use the mining vessel to get ourselves a ton of iron and sathium so that we can make armored plates. It doesn't seem like we're going to be running out of these anytime soon. Okay, we'll land ourselves. Turn off main power. Turn off main power.
Engaging.
He doesn't like to listen sometimes. Your oxygen. Nice. I'm gonna have to store all this oxygen eventually. Okay. But one of the reasons why we're salvaging rather than mining is because I want to see if it's reasonable to get the most of your components from salvaging rather than mining. Because if that's the case, then it will help. It will allow us to have multiple resources in order to build larger things in later playthroughs. Because I could see yourself running out of deposits very quickly. Yeah, salvaging seems more interesting too. Yeah. Also, salvaging allows me to kind of see what the developers have designed and how they've been using the blocks. And I've been learning quite a few things on how to get, the angles I want. Because there are certain blocks that work well together to achieve particular angles that you want. Oh, I thought these cylindrical things were holding up. Plus, there's something eerily satisfying about tearing apart this thing and watching it just disappear. There's like an entire second half to this thing, though. So if it comes down to it, we can go to all the previous wreck sites and drop a core and a cockpit on them, and that will spring them above ground. In theory. I haven't actually done it myself. But that's what usually happens when you build your first vessel, and any of the blocks that appear underground, it will just spring to the top of to above ground. Shit. That's a waste. Steel plates, some fiber optics. Reload. There we go. Yeah, there's like a entire second half to this giant cruiser here beneath the surface, so we're only taking off the top half part of the back part of this crashed one. Yeah. Which makes it very difficult to see if any of the blocks that I'm taking off are connected to anything. I just fell down. Fine by me. As long as we don't get attacked by spiders, that'd be great, but we'll know. We'll know if that happens. Excuse me, thank you. Yeah, there's an entire bottom half. It's gonna give us a ton of steel plate. Yeah, when it comes to these structures, if you remove the core, it's no longer considered a CV. It's just considered debris, and debris, when you're salvaging, will only give you the parts. If you add a core to this thing, it will instead give you the block. There's a slim chance when you're taking debris, it will give you the entire block itself, without, giving you the components. It's a very slim chance. But the reason I'm doing it this way is because there's these blocks called destroyed blocks, and they're not useful for anything. They're just, destroyed blocks. But if you just salvage it this way, you'll get the components rather than a destroyed block, which you can't really use in anything. Ooh, we just picked up something. There we go. Okay. Finish this off. Inventory full. Let's check the inventory then. Okay, that's why. Uh-huh. Okay. Well, we got a ton of plate. Let's drop the truss. We don't need the truss. Iron plates. Okay. What else can we drop? Preferably something that we can get plenty of. Motor. Electronics. Not the electronics. Power coils. Oh, that's going to be needed. I want to drop the oxygen, anti-parasites. Why not? Electron. Okay. We're full up. Head back to the space station. Turn on main power.
Accepted.
Nice. Yeah. Last night was interesting. Last night I was if the music playing in the background is a hint enough, I was playing the new expansion last night. Unfortunately, I was cut short due to the servers going down, but that's to be expected when it comes to every expansion ever for Blizzard. And it just happens every single year. Well, every single expansion. Every single expansion happens to have server issues on day one because everybody's trying to connect at the same time, so. So, I was only able to get through, like, what? A mission before the servers went down? Granted, I didn't start playing until, like, 7 p.m., so... If the servers were a little bit more stable, I'd probably be streaming that at night when I'm playing it. Granted, I'd probably be doing it a little bit different than this. You know, I'd probably have the camera off just so that, you know, I could, you know, long stressful day and all that. Turn off main power. Turn off main power.
Engaging.
There we go. Keeps on wanting to flip me upside down, which okay, technically this is right side up, but for the sake of this is up. For the sake of how I've designed my space station. Yeah. Drop all this off. Oh, shoot, not that. Where's my blocks? Man, the 24 blocks, thank you. And drop you off. Put you here. Okay. And then we'll start making more blocks. 200 at a time. The capacity. Okay. Do this. They need to change that. That's one thing that over time will annoy me. Is having it to where you can't eat again until you've done the sound effect. Also, they need to shorten that sound effect too. It doesn't need to be that long. What they need to do is they need to make it to where the sound effect is like maybe just a crunch. That's it. That's all you need. It's like, oh, the sound effect of eating, rather than the most annoying lip smacking sound you could ever have added to a game. Because nobody likes those kind of people who sits there, you know, in the restaurant just... It's like, why are you doing that? Stop that. You're irritating me. Close your lips when you eat. Down we go. Down, down, down. Get this section finished. There we go. And right there. Okay. Now we can go to the other side and repeat the process. Eventually here. Okay. Go with this. One, two, three, four. Go this way. There. Do this. Not that way. This way. Going with the turning of the block here. Also, this playthrough is going to probably be all the way up until beta. Whenever that is. I plan on, you know, as long as I, keep a list of things I want to make going. It's design, this particular save file is going to just go until beta hits. I'm just gonna keep trying to mess with the limits of the game here. Nope. Need more blocks. This particular space station is a test on how big of a structure can you make before the game starts to, complain about it. How big of a structure could we make before the game just kind of says, nope, you're not going any further? And when I mean, not allowing us to go any further, I'm talking like the game starts to lag and become affected. that kind of a big of a structure. That's good. There we go. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. So let us go. As long as it allows us to go, we'll keep going. But once we hit that maximum build height, it will allow us to be able to figure out what we can do within this space. Then we can sit there and start planning out, okay, how big of sections are we going to have when they branch off from this thing? How many additional pillars are we going to have? So on and so forth. Another thing I gotta have to figure out is how to make domed and cylindrical objects in this game. Because squares are nice and all, but it's much more impressive when you make things that are cylindrical in a boxy environment like this. Making things like that and that, but larger, of multiple blocks. And I feel like I'm going to probably have to take some tricks from similar games like Minecraft in order to do that. Now, Minecraft doesn't have angled blocks, it only has squares. So we have much fewer limitations than Minecraft. Hey, Meme, how's it going? How you doing? How are you doing on this Tuesday morning? Okay. Oh shoot, wrong. There. There we go. Because I'm depressed, trying to not to be though. Yeah, well, yeah. Know the feels. Totally understand. Yeah, let's see here. We're at 222 meters in height. I'm thinking about going into creative mode and making a Cthulhu space station. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, how best to show your appreciation to our Lord and Savior Cthulhu? Or no. Boop-a-doo-doo. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's tall as hell, man. And this is something that you could technically put onto the surface of. Imagine seeing this on the surface of a planet. Jesus, that's pretty nuts. Granted, you'd have to work with structural integrity and all, but in theory, you could. In theory. This is gonna be a massive space station. I'm just every floor that we're able to build, every single section that we build, and the fact that it just keeps going up and up and up just shows how gigantic this can be. Okay. Ran out. Time to go down. Oh, Grid, Dark Light, sleeping your throne. Offer this tribute of the greatness. A video game space station in your likeness. Yes. Okay. I'll steel plate again. Okay. I'll steel plate. Okay, let's just use these 22 to. Let's use these 22 plates to finish off that section, and then we'll go and get some more steel plate. There we go. See how far are we? 230. So that gave us 7 meters in height here. We'll know we got to the very top once, we'll know we got into the very height limit once the blocks turn red. When they look like a red, you know, just the red lines. If they just are, it's a transparent block with red lines, then we'll know we've gone too far. We're at our limit. Oh, you're looking for the limits? Yep. I've been told that it's 250. I just don't know if it's 250 blocks or 250 meters. That seems to be a major difference in the game. It's 255 cubes from the core in all 6 directions. Okay. Wait. So it's 500 from the very top to the very bottom? Is that the limit? You don't want to put anything in those last 3 though, because they're glitchy. Okay. So 255 in all directions from the center cube. So that means from the center cube up 255, from the center cube down 255. That's 510. That's 510 for an entire height. No. Minus, we'll take off the 5 meters above and below, just so that we don't hit those 3 extra 255 cubes. Whoa. Okay, this is going to be a massive space station. Oh, Jesus. So it's 250 cubes rather than meters. How many meters is that? Here. Okay, that's... So it looks like each block is 3 meters. Well, 1 cube is technically 1 meter, so that's that. There's that, yeah. Technically. So the large blocks are 3 meters. So each one of these blocks, the large CV blocks, is 3 meters actually. Because this thing seems to be in the center. The 3 meters. If we go right up to the line here, we're about 1.5 meters. So each large block is 3 meters cubed. Wow. So if we go off of, let's say 500, we make the center core 500 meters tall. I'm just thinking about this. It's like, so our space station get twice as tall as it is now. So it's about half a mile. Yeah, about that, yeah. So our space station central core can be twice as tall as it is now. I'm gonna have to make a lot of sections to this thing just to fill it in, aren't I? I thought the central core was thick enough. Apparently, Jesus fucking hell. Okay. Okay then. I thought we were nearly done. Apparently not. Turn on main power.
wish.
I recommend not filling it in. The board cube has been done. No, what I plan on doing is I'm not going to fill in the entire cube, but I'm going to be making a space station that is essentially, connected to this central core. So the central core is going to have like domed sections. It's going to have cylindrical sections. It's going to have like living areas and farming areas and medical bays and stuff and dry docks, and it's going to have all these structures attached to it. So I wanted to know what my limit was. A skyscraper core with crazy cities sprouting from it? Yeah, that's pretty much what it's going to look like, yeah. And I just wanted to know what my limit is. So the central core can be twice as long as it is now. Oh, wow. Okay. That's gonna be big station. Big station. Huge station. I just want one is wanting to know, visualize how big of an area you have to work with. But two, the second part of this, making this giant space station, is to see how big can you make a structure before the game starts to lag out, before the game starts to tell you no more, you can't, no, before you have to start thinking about having structures that are close by, but not loaded. See what the limitation is in having how many blocks in one area. Last building a Cthulhu's head. I spent a month blocking just the face before I got bored. Yeah. Yeah, I want to see what the game's limitations are for, structures and blocks in one area. And what better way than to make a giant space station? Okay, so I gotta make something. I gotta make that central core twice as long now. Ooh. But that's a lot of real estate. That's a lot of real estate that we can work with. That means we can make a dry dock that's gigantic. We could almost, a dry dock that could fit like a cruiser or a destroyer inside. Ooh. That's a variable you can set. Find that after about 60,000 blocks, my system starts to suffer a little bit. Yeah. At 80,000, I would call it a performance issue. Right? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna drop ourselves off here. Try and take out the rear, the rest of the rear section here. Then we can go to the mid section. Turn off main power.
Engaged.
Yeah. Put ourselves right here so that we can hopefully not get attacked. There we go. Right here. Right here is fine. They're taking out the top section here. That sounds like a lot of blocks, but when you're talking about parking half a dozen CVs on stations out of surface, 6 ships isn't a lot. Isn't a lot of ships. Yeah, it's true. And if you're thinking about large CVs, probably not 6 small CVs, probably like 6 large capital ships. Really? Of course. That was a huge section. That was a waste. Wasted. Come on now. Trying to get the top section off first before I start moving into the bottom sections. You know, giving myself like extremely large goals like this will keep me playing the game. You know, making insanely large goals like... What? That's interesting. It just destroyed... I took out one block and it destroyed everything. Yeah, we're gonna leave that one exposed. That was weird. Apparently one block was holding the entire structure together. Okay. That was weird. I'm confused. Officially confused. Yeah. Well, we're going to leave that one block exposed so that we can come back and just add a core and a... Turn on main power. Turn on main power.
Yes, Commander.
We can add a core and a... whatchamacallit? And a cockpit to it, which will allow us to pick it up. Now to the midsection. Grab pieces and parts over here. That was weird. Not expecting it to just destroy itself like that. Okay. Turn off main power.
As you wish.
Turn our light on. There we go. Okay. Yeah, they were large CVs. One was Dragon's Head with a large mouth, enough to mark a very, in order to park a very large SV inside of it, or several small fighters. I think we also had 10 escape pods. Type vessels docked along the sides. Ooh, wow. Yeah, they were big CVs. Okay. So there is a block limit. See how big of a space station we can make then. See what our limitations are. I hear those spiders. They could fuck off. Starting from the top, working our way down. We've also still got those giant Capel ships. That graveyard that's nearby our space station we can go to too. But I feel like I should probably make a CV that's designed for salvaging those ships first. That way we can quickly tear those things apart. This thing will just float. Yep. just locked in place. We just have to make sure that we get back on board before we take up too much of... Hi, spider. Gonna try and get the edges here taken out here real quick. I built a cube around an asteroid once. The point was to make the asteroid inside a decorative feature, make the station itself have a mostly spherical interior, negative space. Pretty much just a several layer thick armored box with turret towers and parking space. Yeah. Yeah, probably my very first designs are going to be very much similar. Just giant boxes in space, but I'm going to try really hard with the space station to make something a little bit more interesting to look at, you know? So that's going to just take a lot of practice and thought into the design of this thing. No. Okay. Just kind of tearing down this whole void space here, because this entire roof is going to come crashing down if I take any more parts off. So I'm going to start from this side and kind of just remove the center part here, make sure that I don't lose all the steel. There we go. One thing, I'll drop on you after screwing around with stuff like that for a year. You probably glass hanger, park 4 or 5 of prefab CVs. It's enough. Oh, shit. Second here. Yeah. Me stretching and not paying attention to where my hands are going. Everyone always goes way too small, thinking they've gone way too big. Yeah, that's true. Okay, just a second here. Be right back. Ah! Good thing this thing has a top to it. If I didn't have a top to it, man, I'd have coffee everywhere. I just kind of splattered everything. Wipe down things. Don't get sticky. Because that would be a whole bunch of electronics all sticky, covered with the remains of coffee. Not paying attention to where my hands are going. Right? Out of context quotes. Exactly. More out of context quotes. My arms are stiff and I need to stretch them out. Okay. Yeah, the reason my arms and my whole body is really stiff, mostly because I was I was repairing a power window on Sunday, and my body hasn't exactly recovered from it. So mostly trying to wrestle the inner door panel. I spilled coffee. That's why I did. I spilled coffee. I moved the thermos over to where I can't touch it, where my arms can't accidentally bump it. Gotta remember not to take out the section where my ship is so I can still get to it. Because I'm wearing heavy armor, so my jets don't exactly go that far. I'm not like Bubba the Fett. My jets... My backpack does have jets, but I don't go as far. Okay, I think I've saved most of the steel from getting destroyed, but we won't know until cleared out more of it here. Okay, looks like we've saved most of it. Funny thing about Fett Clan, they've been betraying their clients, their nations, even themselves for 26,000 years. So the time Bobo was born, made into the template for clones, right? Funny, huh? Funny how that works. Yeah, tonight, depending on how I feel, I might be streaming some World of Warcraft, but it really depends on how exhausted I am after work. I'm trying really hard, to do some extra streams, but when you've got clients who need you to make changes to their websites and your morning job is running around, jumping in and out of cars, doing car detail, you're kind of exhausted at the end of the day. And the first thing you want to do when you get home is just lay down. My boy kind, wow. Look at my fellows and shake my head every day. Yeah, that game has claimed me years ago, but I don't get as serious into it. The last time nowadays I don't get serious. The last time I was serious about, going like hardcore into that game was back when I was doing PvP. But I haven't done that kind of hardcore grinding in a long time. Long time. There, we gotta be careful not to take the ground up from under us. Yeah. Monster Hunter World and Call of Duty Black Ops, yeah. In fact, the last game I took very seriously, very seriously was probably Halo 4. I mean, I was very much into the team deathmatch kind of environment. that was back when, you know, I was younger and able to stay up until 3 a.m. every single night, but that kind of stuff can't do anymore. I mean, I've gotten to the point where just trying to stay up until midnight on New Year's Day is a struggle. Because you're sitting there going, I could be sleeping right now. Sleeping sounds so great. That's probably another reason why I don't play as many games as I used to. Ah, I just noticed that as soon as I clicked, I was just like, wait, that's probably gonna break. Yeah, I like Outwatch until League of Legends banned 2 million trolls on Christmas. And those banned trolls spread out across the entire internet. Yeah, right? Yeah, they went everywhere. Yeah. That's the downside to when a game bans trolls. Because there's a difference in between a troll and a toxic player. A troll is just doing it out of, you know, they're just doing it out of fun. But, you know, the problem is that some of them don't know what fun really is. So they just go out and try to piss people off. My favorite kind of trolls are the silly trolls. They just do something that's just absolutely silly, and you're just like, dude. And there's just certain places you just don't troll, like people who are trying to be competitive. They're trying to work in a team, and here you are messing it all up. That's not good trolling. There's a time and place for that kind of stuff. At least in my opinion. There we go. I get out most of it, which is good. Just take out this entire wall here. I've seen a few streamers jump back into the League, and based on what I heard and saw before, I could leave those channels. It appears toxic players are definitely not banned. Yeah, that's the problem. When it comes to League of Legends, they have a huge toxic player problem. Huge toxic player problem. And it's eventually going, if not already, it's going to affect the growth of the game. Eventually, people are just going to be fed up, and people are going to start leaving that game. And if enough people leave it, it will kill the game. So. There we go. Finish this side. Just make this nice flat top here. I've tried all because of the reputation of the community. I just can't be bothered to get into the whole mess. Exactly. I hear you. That is a reputation that the game is going to have to somehow overcome if it doesn't want to die off. Just something it's just to have to work with. I admit that when I play Overwatch and get stuck with a team that likes to have trolls, I get angry and frustrated, especially when it's every match for 5 solid months. I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, there's a difference in between. It's, you know, when you're trying to actually become better at the game and your entire team is just full of people who are looking to just troll, it could get frustrating. Break down all the damaged ones here. But yeah, that game, League of Legends, has got a serious problem it needs to fix. And if it wants to see its community shrink and shrink and shrink, they can do nothing. But there is one character named Roadhog. His superpower is that he's yeah, I know Roadhog. He's got a giant hook. I got some containers in here. Isn't that nice? All the other characters are like geniuses with doctrines who lead movements to change the world. Roadhog puffs gas. Yeah. He's kind of like that guy who just showed up last minute going, what are we doing? We doing something? I don't know. I'm just here just because. I don't know what you guys are here to accomplish. I'm just here to do stuff. You know, shoot things in the face, you know. Okay, let's get moving up with what we got. Sure, I mean, power.
Executing now.
Okay. Mid part nearly completed. He's a troll. The character is a troll. He's huffing gaff. Morally obese serial killer. Right? Yeah. That's pretty much what he is. He's exactly pretty much what. Yeah. That's him. That's Roadhog. Whose best friend likes explosives. Think about that. Let's just say the only other game that has much more interesting characters is Team Fortress 2. I mean, you've really got, you know, if you want really good designed characters with interesting personalities, you've really only got two choices: Overwatch and Team Fortress 2. That's it. His best friend creates cybernetics and prosthetics, and yes, explosives. But he's a man of medicine. By medicine, I mean grenades. Yes. The ultimate cure for stupidity. A grenade. Borderlands 2 has fun characters. Yes, they do. You know, not as many though. I mean, everybody in Borderlands is crazy. They're just all crazy. But a good number of the characters in Borderlands are predictable. Like, yeah, they're going to be just straight up crazy. But, you know, nothing wrong with that. I mean, the game is still very, very cool. But in my opinion, a lot of the characters from Borderlands don't get enough screen time. They're pretty much all crazy. Yeah. But that's the big problem with Borderlands, is that a lot of their cool characters don't get enough screen time. The only time you hear from them is their voice, and that's it. You don't see them, which is kind of sad, really. Turn on main power. I mean, turn off main power.
Executing now.
Back. I haven't played Borderlands, and I've watched people playing it. It's just doing grinding parts. Yeah. What Borderlands is essentially a first-person shooter based off of the game mechanics of Diablo. If you ever played Diablo, it's a dungeon, it's a dungeon crawler where you just gather more loot. It's a looter. It's a looter shooter, as some people call it. That's what Borderlands is a looter shooter. You go around, you find guns, you use guns to get better guns, to get even bigger and better guns, so on and so forth. A lot of their guns, and their guns are randomly generated too, which is pretty cool. The guns that they create are just randomly generated, but the biggest problem that the game has is that a lot of the guns that you get are just slightly better or not as good as what you already have. Not my kind of game then. Yeah, so if, for those who like that kind of game, it's like the best game ever, but it's not for everybody. Much like most games. Most games are not just, they're not for everybody. They're not supposed to be. Most games are not supposed to be for everybody. They're supposed to be, a game is supposed to be geared towards a particular, type of community or type of person who's looking for the best of that kind of game. You're not supposed to be good at everything. That's something that I feel like a lot of AAA developers seem to forget. It's like, no, the game is supposed to be the best of that genre, not let's add elements from other genres. I play MMOs. So I've done grinding, I've committed genocide against virtual enemies to the tune of several thousand, 100 trillion dead robots. I want more. Pretty much, yeah. I hear you. Yeah, I have like several different games that I have available to me that pretty much scratch an itch for whatever type of gameplay I'm looking to have. So, if I feel like doing a shooter, I've got shooters. I mean, I've got Unreal Tournament, I've got Halo, I've got Borderlands, I've got Mass Effect, I've got. If I'm looking for a fantasy RPG, I've got World of Warcraft, I've got Elder Scrolls, I've got Dragon Age. I mean, the list goes on and on. I'm not looking for a game that does everything, because chances are it will do everything poorly. Lord Rocker Cho! Lord Walker Cho! Lord Rocker Cho is awesome. See what I'm saying? I have 200 games, 150 of them are shooters. Exactly. Lord Walker Cho. The bulls. The Mega Burgers. Stuff I wish wasn't a shooter, still shooters. NMS says right? Yeah. Get that going. Got some oxygen. Fill the oxygen on board. No Man's Sky, Ark is a shooter. Yeah. Which Ark is, Ark and No Man's Sky is trying not to be a shooter, but they turned out to be shooters. Dark and light, damn sure, worlds adrift. You seem to be attracted to shooters, apparently. I don't know, I think you're into shooters. I'm not quite sure. But I could see that being kind of frustrating if you're looking to get into something that's not a shooter. The recent reviews on Steam for No Man's Sky are actually not overwhelmingly negative. Yeah, apparently they changed a lot of things. They added a whole bunch of things so that the world wasn't just an empty void. What only wants me to into shooter is they destroy every game that isn't a shooter. Pretty much. Which eventually I will play No Man's Sky and see what the noise is about. But from what I've been hearing, they've completely changed how the gameplay is. It's not just an empty world where you just run around and find spaceships and multi-tools and gather resources. They actually have side quests, which is kind of funny. Sony gave Halo Games $42 billion to push No Man's Sky out the door. The CEO is like, you're not going to be ready until 2020. Yeah, they rushed it. They definitely did. The game definitely looked like it had been rushed. That's why when a developer all of a sudden announces, yeah guys, we are gonna have to push the release date back, I will be disappointed. I'll be like, oh, but then I would be like, well, at least you realize it's not finished yet, and that you'll keep going at it. I'm perfectly happy with that. But you'll just be more frustrated if they just rush it out and it's not completed. You'll be more frustrated with them with a unfinished game. So, plus I've met developers, so I'm a little bit more forgiving when I see certain things wrong with the game. I'll be like, okay, I guess that's not something that we can actually fix. Sony is still trying to make the game go away. Yeah, after they fixed it. Yeah, after the developers fixed it, and it wasn't a day one success. Now that the Hello Games have actually gone through and did what they said they were going to do and actually fix the problems, Sony wants to get rid of it because was not a day one success like they did with Star Wars Galaxies and 30 other. Yeah, that's really the problem with AAAs. That's why you don't see me playing a lot of AAA games, is because how it works is that indie development studio. This is how it works. Indie development studio starts up in their garage or their mother's basement, whatever. Pretty much that's where they start out. Indie development studio comes up with a game. They'd start developing the game, and if they're lucky, they don't ever have to go to a publishing studio to advertise their game. But there are some indie studios that come up with a game and then they get scouted by a publishing company. The publishing company says, hey, I like your idea. If I give you money, will you make it for my publishing? We'll help finance it. And what happens is that now that they're under the umbrella of a publishing company, which at that point indie development company no longer has to worry about their bills anymore, because they're going to be paid a ridiculous amount of money to develop their game, which, you know, from the developer's standpoint, a win-win. Until until they until the publishing company starts basically telling them that they should add this because they know better. This feature should be added to the game because this is in right now, which causes the game to get watered down. Then there's also the problem of indie development studios that overpromise stuff, like what happened with Hello Games. The developer will be like, okay, you know, you promised all this stuff, now deliver. And if you take too long, we're going to force you to, you know, send it out the door, you know, a complete and utter wreck. But, you know. Plus, a lot of publishing studios don't know what makes a good game. They just know what makes a game sell. That's it. To add microtransactions or you're all fired. Yeah, pretty much that's pretty much how it mostly works, is that once you sign up with a publishing company, the game idea is now the publishing studio's property. You're just allowed to work on it. And if you don't go the direction the publishing company wants you to go, they will just take your game, you know, fire your studio, and then give it to another studio who will finish it, adding all the stuff that they want. Kind of a frustrating thing to have to deal with as a indie developer gone AAA. Kind of sad, but you know, that's why supporting a indie developer before they go with a publisher is like the guaranteed way to make sure that the game comes out the way the indie developer wants it and you want it. So they started talking about an 8-year development process. Sony's basically bribed, give them bad, yeah. Hello Games is kind of just having to deal with having to work with a publishing studio like Sony. Then there's also the indie developers who go with EA. Oh my god, I feel sorry for them that they have to work with that publishing company, because EA has been the source of a lot of killing of games. They have killed so many games, it's ridiculous. Because Sony owns them. Yeah, right? Yeah. I know that for a fact. EA and BioWare made Mass Effect. So I was on board with Mass Effect from Mass Effect 1 all the way to Mass Effect 2. I didn't like the multiplayer that they added to Mass Effect onto Mass Effect 3. But the game was good. But then they came out with Andromeda, and I haven't even touched Andromeda because it's just like, why? Shepard's dead. Why do I want to play this? Andromeda is actually a good game. Well, I don't play it mostly because of the fact that the game is not set in this. It's set in a time after the events of Mass Effect 3. But it's like, where does the story go from here? I don't know. Maybe when the game goes down in price, maybe I'll play it, but... Also, Shepard was always dead. The whole reason I played Mass Effect is mostly because of the cast, the supporting cast. I mean, Liara Tassone, Tali Zora, Garrick. I mean, Rex, Shepard. I was a huge Mass Effect fan. Still am. Love Mass Effect. 600 years after Yeah, 600 years after Mass Effect 3, in a different galaxy, because it's about a lifeboat contingency plan in case Shepard couldn't beat the Reapers. Yeah. Yeah, I just I know that if I played that game I would be missing my old crew. Yes, I said that correctly. I'm missing my crew. I like my crew. Basically, what Andromeda was meant to do is introduce the audience to the idea of an MMO setting where everyone is different, has a different separate character instead of the original. Everything is storyline, and you play the hero thing. Yeah, but I like that. I like being the badass hero who saves the day. Andromeda had the highest memes, 60 minutes of gameplay for every game in history. Right? Yeah. I don't know, maybe it's sometime in the future I'll play it. I'll play Andromeda. It's kind of it really boils down to a weird feeling. It makes me feel like I'm cheating on the original crew from Mass Effect, you know? Like Joker. Was a great story. Don't get me wrong. Also Andromeda, you play Ryder, who basically Shepard as a millennial. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you find out that your name is Ryder, you have to make a female. Oh, you wanna. 1, 2, 3. That's Ryder has no idea what the fuck is going on, never gets a clue, and every NPC calls you a moron all the time. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Liara Tassone, Polyzora, Vos Normandy, or Vos Nima, depending on which game you played. Rex, which Rex is a badass. Didn't have a galaxy-sized supercomputer in your head, probably be brain dead, right? Yeah. Right? It was Ashley. Depending on who you save. I always saved Ashley because Ashley's better. After he died of suffocation in the opening scene. Yeah, right? Yeah. That was a shocker from Mass Effect 2 that your character died and then was resurrected by Cerberus. Like, what? What is this craziness? But then you just became a badass cyborg, which is pretty sweet. You just became a badass cyborg. Oh shoot. That way. That way. Badass cyborg? Saren. Yeah. Saren. Who also when I first played it, I got him to shoot himself in the head. I was able to talk him out of it. It's pretty sweet. I got him redeemed. That was pretty sweet. During my first playthrough of Mass Effect 2, I got my entire crew to survive. That was also awesome. No one died. That's because I did all their side quests. Weren't you indoctrinated? At the end of Mass Effect 3, you, at the end of Mass Effect 3, you weren't exactly indoctrinated, but the pull was extremely strong to where they were able to control you just enough to make you shoot, Anderson, was it? Yeah, not exactly indoctrinated, but close enough. You know, the leader of Cerberus, though, he was full-on indoctrinated. And he didn't even know it, which is kind of funny. Like, we can control them, and they were already controlling him. That was funny. I was just like, ha! So you live in a virtual reality created by the Reapers and controlled your body whenever they wanted to, but you weren't indoctrinated? No. I feel like you were just a husk by the end of it. No, pretty much. It wasn't exactly. I wouldn't consider it a virtual reality. I wouldn't consider it a virtual reality, no. You just so happen to be able to resist the indoctrination long enough to where you were able to complete whatever you needed to do. Yeah, the child never existed. No, they didn't. No. You know, how the indoctrination worked is pretty much just they would quietly in the back of your mind get you to do things that they wanted you to do. Yeah, because he's an AI. Yeah, pretty much. When it came to that, the fact that the kid looked the way, because the AI looked the way it does, it's actually because it took the form of whatever happened to be most prominent in your mind. And for Shepard, it happened to be that kid who died on that spacecraft, because that was something that it was the first person that Shepard couldn't save. So Shepard up until that point was saving people left and right. But it was the one kid that he just couldn't save, and it just haunted him. That's why every once in a while he would dream about trying to save the kid. And he'd never saved the kid, so like it's almost like post-traumatic syndrome, kind of like when you're like this, overpowered, can save anybody superhero, and that one person you just couldn't save. Yeah, the one you chased all the time in your dream. Yeah, pretty much. The kid appeared when the Reapers arrived on Earth, because that's when the Reapers began to heavily indoctrinate Shepard. Yeah, it's when it comes to indoctrination in Mass Effect, it's based off of time spent in the presence of the Reapers and how close you are to the Reapers. And Shepard was just, so many times been so close to the Reapers, and The fact that he wasn't indoctrinated faster is just a miracle. But yeah, he was still slightly able to control himself at the end, but the real question is like, how indoctrinated was he upon the final scene? It's like, how indoctrinated was he? Because, the game still gives you, quote unquote choice. How much choice, I don't know. Were all three of those options what the Reapers wanted? We'll never know. Because it's kind of funny how one of the options is to take control of them. I don't think they would want you to control them. I feel like ME3 just didn't happen. I think the entire game is literally just an indoctrination process. Maybe. It's one of those things that they kind of, the ending was just so open-ended like that. It was a very, very, very open-ended, open to interpretation, I mean, ending. People are still debating it. It's like, what the hell? The central core is going to be huge. Yeah, an MMO would be pretty sweet, because the world that they had created definitely is MMO worthy, at the very least. It's at the very least worthy of an MMO. I'm just hoping that they make a good one. And when I mean good one, I mean give me the ability to make my own, to have my own ship and my own crew and running around doing cool stuff, doing cool stuff like you did in, the original Mass Effect game. Because, I want to be able to choose my crew. I want to be able to, we just go through all the, yeah, we did. I would love to be able to just choose my crew, choose what kind of ship I fly, stuff like that. And be able to go from planet to planet doing cool stuff. And that's what I want to do. It's just, can they make a good MMO that could do something like that? I don't know. Yeah, that's 28. Making sure that I'm keeping this even. I want to keep this in the center here as much as possible. Well, that's my hope. I would like to see a return of the Mass Effect series. I just don't want them to do it badly. Okay, yeah, the other side. We gotta go up to 140 on the side. Because from what I've heard, this, Elder Scrolls Online is pretty good. I've heard a lot of people saying that that Elder Scrolls Online is decently made. I feel like as much as pornography has been made, they will be the first characters available. They'll be the most popular alien race in our brains. Yeah, probably true. Yeah, sorry. The blue parasites, really what they are. Yeah. We're even now. Once we get this one made. Keep the oxygen coming here. Yeah, it's gonna be a while till we have a virtual reality MMO. They still have to figure out how to be able to get that to work correctly and not, you know, make people nauseous. I did love the vampiric Asari plotline. Character goes ballistic. Yeah, right. The one that basically, you know, taps all your life strength or whatever you call it. Because she was the daughter of one of your crew. Let's move that over here. Hey, my vegetables. My veggies. There we go. Okay, we're gonna have to get more steel plate. We've made more progress. More progress. Double check here. Height here. 286 meters. Holy crap. 286 meters tall so far. Turn on main power.
As you wish.
Massive space station. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, let's go get more blocks. More steel plates, please. There we go. Samara? Yeah, Samara. I keep on forgetting their names. Because they pretty much only showed up at the very last game. Unlike Liara, Kali, Rex, Garrett. They've been there since the very, very beginning. Very first game. Does anyone know of a good tutorial for grouping how to make switches work? Not that I know of. I do know that I was shown how to make sensors work. To be able to, like, toggle, a ramp and a door to open. But there's probably some YouTube videos or some tutorials in the community area. Projection, he flies around, stabs people with her high heels, gets all crazy. He's playing a role in True Blood or something. I'm struggling. Yeah, it was something I had to be shown how to do because I was having trouble trying to figure them out. But pretty much you have to go into signal logic here, and in it allows you to name a signal. And then you have to go into here, grab it from the pull down list once you make one. And then have it toggle to, like, follow and then invert it or not invert it. But that's really all I know, really. Just very, very basic stuff. Eventually here I'm going to get into much more elaborate sensors, sensor and switches setups. Let's see here. I'm just trying to get to the point where I'm able to make large structures. That's the part that I'm trying to figure out. Trying to make cool shapes. Get the space station figured out. Control P while targeting a thing you want to mess with. That's the Open Devices tab with that object already highlighted. Really? I thought it was like look at them and open up P, but that works too, I guess. That right there will save you for days. Yeah. Yeah, from what I've been told, when it comes to the signal logic in this game, you can almost turn, you can almost make a calculator with that kind of stuff. Quite advanced, all that stuff in the background there. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, we've gotten it all flattened out. Now we need to start taking off layers here. So we fill ourselves up with steel plate here. It's only a matter of time before I know all the things that you need to know about this game. This is going to take a while. Sorry to cut and run, but thanks for the info. No problem, Kara. Thanks for hanging out. Not right there. We'll save you days. It has or NOR and XOR, so yeah, you could make a calculator. Yeah. Nice spiders, buy spiders. Reloading, there we go. Just break all those so they really can't get up here. Working on trying to take this top layer off. And spiders, I swear to God. Spiders, you Evo. Yeah, they can't climb yet. Just wait. Developer will add that feature. I'm guaranteeing it. We're gonna eventually make it to where the spiders can climb walls, and that's gonna suck. You'll be minding your own business, going through a point of interest, also, and you'll look up and just see spiders. Like, fuck no! Go away! As much as he likes bug monsters, you're probably right. Yeah. Yeah. I could see them adding that. It's gonna suck. Just mind your own business, going through a point of interest, thinking that you've cleared it. All of a sudden you'll look up and spider. Hi, how's it going? We find out that Galactic people and not insect people, right? Yeah. Yeah, they're humanoid insects. That wouldn't be surprising at all. I'd be like, Oh, great. I'm being attacked by spiders. By spider people. Great. Lovely. Awesome. Like, screw you! One of the other tasks that I plan on doing is once we get the space station up and running, I'm going to be trying to make a giant, capital ship. This giant capital ship is going to be pretty much something that will park up in orbit around a planet that doesn't have a space station yet. To be like a mobile space, a mobile like base. And yet another large object that we're going to be able to fly around. Spider is following me. Damn spider. One thing at a time. First, space station. Not take that out, shall we? I need to still be able to get onto my ship. I also don't want to take off too much of the center part, or we're going to find ourselves falling right next to a spider. Ah. Ah. There we go. The amount of steel that this very first, that these wrecks are giving us is kind of impressive. How much we got? We've already gotten 2,000. The amount of mining we'd have to do to get all this would be kind of insane. Can't remember how much ore is required to make how many steel plates, but I think it's like, I think one ore is 10 plates. So we're getting like 6 plates per block. It's pretty good, actually. Bits and pieces of it underneath. Kind of disappointing that the blocks still fall off even when they're connected to the ground. Really wish it wouldn't do that. That down. Sun's coming up. Reload. How many charges do we have left? 4. After this one we just loaded. May have to kill that spider. There we go. Just to make sure that he can't get up here. Because I don't know how good their pathing is, but I'm not gonna risk it. That broke off. That broke off something. You. There's you. There's an entire bottom floor to this thing, which is kind of crazy. Who are you? You're just a regular something or other there. I wonder how many iron ore we're currently at right now for a space station right now. Okay, that's good enough for now. Hi, jerk. You know what? I'm gonna use my sniper rifle. How you doing? Reload. Sniper rifle's pretty fun. Into space. Into space, off to the central core. One thing I have noticed when it comes to me playing these kind of building games with, you know, granted it's still a survival game, it's got some heavy survival elements to it, but for building, for games that involve a lot of building, I've noticed that in order for me to keep playing the game, I have to come up with projects that are so massive that require a ton of time before I'm finished. Because I've played Minecraft, and as soon as I make myself a house, I immediately get bored. I'll make myself a house, I'll have like a farm where I'm making tons of food, and then I just like, okay, now what? So this project, this giant space station is keeping me playing. And I've been making sure to, every single time I think about something that I could build, I write it down and make it into like a giant checklist. Like, what else could I make that would test the limits of this game? Turn off main power.
Confirmed.
True, but it's an unfinished game. Yeah, it's an unfinished game. It really is. Which means that every single time they add something new to the game, I add more things to the list. I'm already burned out at this point. Yeah. Let's see. Pop this off. I gotta figure out how to turn these damaged blocks into something useful. Because we got a bunch of damaged blocks here that are just kind of sitting here. 116 of them. Combat steel, hardened steel. Like 200 of them. I kind of understand why I enjoy playing this game, but kind of like how I can be interested in this game versus, you know, Minecraft, I don't know. Maybe it's probably the space part. The fact that you're able to make your own spaceships. Probably the difference. Because with Minecraft, all the things that you make are pretty much static. They don't exactly move anywhere. You're just making buildings. While in this game, you can actually make things that you can hop into and fly around. Kind of like KSP, I guess. KSP is another example of a game where you build vehicles that you fly around. Nope. Okay, go get more blocks. It's me in, thank you. There we go. There we go. Okay, so we are currently at .286 meters tall. You're already stretching gameplay by building your stuff in survival instead of creative. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I could easily have made this in creative really quickly. But the fact that I'm doing it in creative just adds an extra degree of difficulty and the amount of time that is required to make it. In fact, let's take an opportunity to... Statistics. Oxygen needed to fill. Iron ingots. Wow, not that many actually. 7,432 iron ingots required to be able to build this structure so far. More Sathium ingots though. Then there's probably going to be a ton of silicon because we're going to have to make windows for this thing. Central core is just... I'm just floored by the fact that this central core is just going to be so massive. It just looks sweet when you're flying up to it. You just see this giant pillar out in space. Great. Just makes me smile every single time we pull up to this thing. It's just like, ooh, that's pretty huge. But the design is supposed to be a zero-G space station, so there is no technically floor to this thing. Oh, that way. Too bad symmetry mode doesn't work on this space station. I don't know why. Wish it did. Save us a lot of time. Probably burn through our resources a lot faster though. There we go. Scale is a thing that's easy to misjudge when you're building a space station for parking CVs, but you're doing it in a spacesuit. Yeah, right? I mean, pretty much how big this space station is, one of these blocks is nearly as tall as your character. So one block is like one player. So yeah, that's big. So each of those trusses is essentially a person standing. Yeah. That's pretty big. Oh, whoa! Right in my face. Yeah, there's a symmetry function. The problem is that to be able to turn on symmetry function, you go into N, you connect to base, you hit symmetry. I've tried all three of these options right here. For some reason, they don't work. I don't know why. I don't know why they don't work. Because I'll sit here and do this. And, you know, in theory, these blocks should have been added to the other side. There'll be nothing over there. Connect to base is not needed for starters. You have to make the plane. Okay. You don't need to connect to base, but to activate symmetry, you have to click a block. Do I have to? Is this like Minecraft where you have to click it with an empty hand or what? With the end menu up. Oh. Okay. It doesn't matter. Okay. So let's go and click the. I'm gonna go and click the base, the 4 block. That being the case, I knew there was a trick. I was complaining about this last stream. It's just like, there's gotta be a trick to the symmetry thing. There we go. X, Y. I think it's like X, Y, Z maybe? Where you want 0, yeah. I think it's like Y, Z, no. I think it's like X, Y, right? No. This way. This kind of symmetry, right? There we go. Okay. This should work now. Should work. Okay. Do this. Add 4 blocks. Then we'll go check the other side. Should work now. Good. If the symmetrical placement overlaps an existing block, it won't do anything. Okay. See? You know, missing something. There was a detail that needed to be explored here. Okay, only added 1 block. So apparently symmetry mode it won't let us click and drag. It'll only allow us to click 1 at a time. It doesn't allow click and drag. We have to do this 1 block at a time when we drop blocks. If you don't have enough blocks in your inventory, it can't place blocks. Okay. But it is working now. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll go to the other side and we'll start placing blocks over there, and it should allow us to work on one side and have it just pop, 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 out from the center here. Okay, thank you. I knew I was missing something. Even if you zero off. Also, if you zero off, but you can't definitely click and drag. But you can definitely click and drag. Okay. Even with control. Yeah. Like more blocks here. 3. Need that going. This will definitely speed things up a little bit. Definitely gonna speed things up. First, see if your access plane is actually in the middle. And since you're been building already, check both ends are the same length. One left on the other end. Okay. Yeah, this area, this right here. Yeah, so I'm guessing this is probably the center block now. Yeah, this is probably the center block right here. Because this door is supposed to be the center of the space station. Okay. It's off. Okay. Yeah, the central core is not the center anymore. That door is. So I click the very, very center. That should work now. There can be set at the edge of a block or half a block. Okay. Okay. This should work now. Which allow us to work on one end of this thing and just go to town. Here. So in theory, 8 of these things should be going. Well, this, that, as we already have the blocks over on the other side. There we go. Okay. Now the real test here. These decorative parts. Okay, where? Already done that. We do this. Then we do this. Rotate like that. Go down here. There you go. Don't think of them as decoration. Think of them as armor. It doesn't look like crap. Yeah, right? Yeah. That's true. Supposed to be armored pillars. Yeah, let's go check the other side. If this works, then we could just leave this on and just build off of one side and have things just kind of progress out from the center part. This will speed up the building process tremendously. Well, not tremendously, like times 2. Oh, yeah, we were off. Okay, that's good to know. So we'll just fill in the hole here. We'll just fill in the hole here, get caught up. Okay, so we should be on that end instead. You need a jet-powered elevator. Yeah, right? It's definitely what we need. We were not 100% symmetrical, which is fine. Okay, we are gonna need... What are we missing? We just go all through... No, we still got a ton of that. Iron steel plates. Okay, we need steel. We need a lot of steel. Yeah. It's gonna be way faster. We were off by a little bit. And I'm also going to add just a regular block here just to mark where the ribs are going to have to be. Are you playing single player or on a server? Single player. Yeah. Currently playing single player. Mostly until I get to a point where I feel like I know enough about the game to where I can go on a server and not get my butt kicked. Because there are going to be people who are going to be doing PvP on servers. Which I could probably find a server that's got like people who are being cooperative, but the plan is that once this game gets into beta, I'm just gonna make my own server where it's open to, you know, you guys, viewers. So we could, you know, the first time I make the server, it'll be cooperative, so we're all gonna work on one giant project, and then later on it will be everybody's working on their own stuff, and then we could have like at the beginning of every stream show and tell. Like, ooh, what did you work on? Just building in single player is like creative mode, but still you can just console commands to get God mode and travel much faster while building. Yeah, I could. But, you know, this is a test to see what can be done for, you know, in survival mode. Like, how hard would it be? How time consuming is it? And get blocks instantly. Yeah, that's true. There's a way to make a CV wrapped around a rail that you can park. When you've reached your destination, it can work like an elevator. I've seen a few of them, but only built one. Ooh, that'd be cool. Like a CV that acts as an elevator in the central core. That would be sweet. Okay, yep, it worked. Wait. Okay, we got everything caught up now. We just have to keep this symmetry going. Yeah, monorails were big in pre-alpha. Wow. That's cool. That's pretty cool. Okay. So we got like 6 blocks left. We need to go and get more steel. What's our space station's height at right now? Yeah, 318 meters. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. I love it. Plus, it'd be pretty cool to see how big making a structure this big in survival without any help. Remember, some French guy built a working elevator lift. SP slave to a CV. Really? That's cool. Yeah, because if it's inside of a cylinder and you make the blocks just wide enough to where there's still a little bit of a gap, you could just, it would be constrained inside of it. Go up and down. Okay, we need blocks. Turn on main power.
Engaged.
How far does this go out? Oh, this probably lights up how far it will go. This is probably the very edge of the build zone. Am I right? Is this the edge of the build zone? Does it light up where the build zone can go? Holy crap! That's a lot of space. That's a lot of room. Max size. Oh, this is gonna look cool when I'm finished. That thing is gonna look huge. Anyway, last spike, thank you for the follow. That's gonna be sweet. That is gonna be a massive space station. As I remembered, max size was 250, 250, 250. Could have changed now, yeah. From what I've been told, for a base, it's 250 meters from the central core. So that's in radius. So a 250 radius. So that's going to be a massive structure. And we need to land and reload the game because of the bug, of the terrain bug. Oh, stop. Turn off main power. Turn off main power.
Confirmed.
Blocks, not meters. Okay. So 250 blocks from the center. Each CV block is about 3 meters tall. Also a diameter? Really? So 250 diameter. 256, 255, but yeah. Okay. So 250 blocks. Yeah, that's a lot of space. So it'd be probably like 750 meters in diameter, your structure. And that's, cubical, so. But yeah, anyway. Wait, turn on main power. Turn on main power.
Acknowledged.
Rocket drone. There we go. Level 23 reached. Yay. Stop rolling. Stop rolling. Stop rolling. Trying to roll downhill. This particular vehicle, though. Why is it? It's weird. This particular vehicle is only temporary. I'm gonna have to make something way better. Okay, let's go up here and drop it here. There we go. Yeah, it's a major render glitch. Turn off main power. Turn off main power.
Confirmed.
Whatever. Go. Exit. Go back in. It's like I'm tired fighting that thing. Then you're fighting that thing to be right side up, and it keeps on wanting to roll itself. It's like, stop. If I actually made wings to this thing, it'd be a lot better. A lot better. better. A lot better. If I made wings, it would keep it from rolling over, but whatever. Yeah, I was hitting O, and what it would do, turn on main power.
Executing now.
Yeah. Because of where I was located, it kept on wanting to roll downhill. So I would go and try and level out, and as soon as I let go, it would start to roll downhill. I was just like, I was trying to get my landing gear to like dig into the ground, but it wouldn't, so it would just kind of just keep sliding. I was like, oh great. What are you on power? Power levels on the ship. Okay, at 54, we're gonna have to put fuel in this thing eventually. Not a problem, YOLO, not a problem. I mean, I entirely admit I'm fairly brand new to this game. In fact, this is only my second playthrough. So, my first playthrough was trying to get a rough idea of the progression of the game, how the bits and parts work together to make a spaceship and all that kind of stuff. Now I'm just trying to push that knowledge a little bit further. Hence why I'm making this giant space station. I'm trying to push my knowledge of how, you know, how big of a structure I can make, what kind of infrastructure would have to be made on top in a, you know, in a space station that huge. Like how many generators would have to be involved, how much fuel would have to be involved, stuff like that. Not only that, but not only are we going to be making the space station, but we're also going to have, I'm going to develop weapons platforms that are going to be their own bases that are going to be surrounding this thing. For sure, figuring something out yourself is the most memorable lesson. Yes, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to figure this stuff out and essentially learn things the hard way. And eventually we'll get to a point where, you know, I'll like know quite a bit about the game. But that ain't gonna be for a while. There's quite a bit to this game that I haven't even dug into yet. But, you know, this entire game is like a giant box and you're stuck inside of it. And right now I'm just kind of trying to kick all the walls and see how far I can go. And then from there, then see what I can do within that, you know, within that area. Okay. Okay, stupid spiders. Oh god! Okay. Reload. Where'd your buddy go? Did I kill them both? This heavy armor just doesn't, that's the downside to the heavy armor. Is that your jets don't go as far. The anniversary update, I'm looking forward to seeing what they've added to the game. I want to know what they added. I'm looking forward to that. To get back to the connect to base function is used to place blocks not directly attached to the main structure. Oh, okay. So it's like, it's a part of the base, but it's not, you know, you don't have to like build a collection of, you have to build blocks out to a spot, place them, and then remove those blocks. Okay. We'll start tearing these down. There we go. 40 steel plates from that one. Well, that's useful. Well, that sucked. Whatever. Moving on. Debug. Let's turn this on just so we can see what is about to fall. So we don't lose pieces anymore. Yeah, because there's like bits and pieces of this thing that large sections like that. It's like a ton of steel plate that just kind of gets deleted. That went straight from green. That's weird. That went from straight green to red all of a sudden. Odd. Plus, I don't know what it looks like right below here, so for all I know, some of these are like connected to like one block or a destroyed block. The gameplay doesn't change. They're probably going to add like a couple of they're probably going to add a couple of new components to the game, maybe. Turn on main power.
Unable to comply.
Oh, main power's already on. Oh, that's why. I thought I was still connected. Need to bring that down. There we go. Apparently there's another floor underneath this thing, so... We've also got a couple of points of interest that we've cleared out that we can do this to also. Many of them are just on the moon, though. Means we'd have to go and make trips to the moon to clear out some POIs. Come on, there we go. Gotta take out all the red blocks first. Technically, if this was considered a base, all these boxes that were connected to the ground would be considered solid. But plus, building the space station this way, to where I have to gather all the components, just will make it, you know, much more, I'll feel much more accomplished if I finish a base that I had to gather all the materials for. So you could be sitting there going, yeah, this space station I gathered all the pieces for. Which, you know, maybe in some cases kind of crazy. But, you know what? Why not? Okay, we've got a radiation storm coming in. It doesn't give me any warning. It gives me no warning at all. There we go. Well, all that's cleared out. Go into here, show that. Center of mass doesn't exactly work right now for some of the for the ships, so there's no way of knowing where the center of mass is for a particular vessel. Which it doesn't really exactly matter unless you're talking about hovercraft. Hovercraft, you know, really matters. Okay. So we got the Crash Titan mid part done, back part done, front part we've already done. I guess we'll go to the moon. Don't exactly want to go iron deposit hunting quite yet. We still got sources of steel plate that we can grab immediately. Mostly because another reason why I'm going to be wanting to salvage them rather than why I want to salvage them rather than grabbing ore and doing it that way is because it's an extra step that takes a lot of time to do. Because first it has to turn the ore into ingots, and then they have to turn the ingots into plate, and then they turn the plate into blocks. This way, it's just one step. Turn the plates into blocks. Okay, so probably, yeah, moon. There's a point of interest that I had cleared out earlier in this playthrough. We'll go and tear that one down. Quite a bit of blocks on that one. I think it's a generator. Concrete blocks build much faster. Yeah. Concrete blocks are... I don't think they can be put onto a space station. Nor would it make any sense to do a space station made out of concrete blocks. It would be kind of weird. Like the giant floating concrete brick. You could probably do it on it would probably make sense for a like a bunker type. They can? Yeah. Yeah, this is the drone base. We haven't cleared that one out. The power station, there it is. We have cleared out the power station though. Plus I'm gonna need the, well, you know, concrete can be made from pretty much anything. We just dig a hole in the ground. Armored concrete is the most powerful block at this time. Really? Yes. Thinking probably... That's a plasma turret right there. Just, let's park it here. Turn off main power.
Performing now.
Yeah. See if I can reach it up there. Yes, I can. This is also a reason why I'm not making this out of combat steel. That would take forever. We wouldn't be able to make as many blocks of combat steel. But if we tear down combat steel, that's going to give us a lot of steel plate. Plus, with every point of interest essentially being made of steel, not like we're going to run out of sources of steel anytime soon. We just have to make sure to go out and clear them out before we go and gather the steel plate. That's how those spires are made. Huh, okay. Interesting. So it's made with that block and that block right there. Oh, ended up taking that part off. Oh, really? You know, stripping a base with a mounted multi-tool turret HV is faster. Okay. May have to be something we are going to have to make here. I see a project for tomorrow. What we're going to have to do. Make ourselves a hovercraft. Or at least switch out the drill components on our current HP and put a multi-tool on it. Plus, it would probably save us some fuel a little bit doing it that way. We don't have to make a whole bunch of multi-tool pieces. Well, ammo charges. Whoa! Okay, that just fell. Man. Kind of striking out on that. That's 8 steel plate per. That's nice. This thing can give us a ton of plate. Sweet. Grab the drop. It's night vision goggles, which I already have. I already have night vision goggles. Oh. Whatever. Yeah, during this run, we've gotten tons and tons of... We've gotten tons and tons and tons of, like, stuff like that. The night vision goggles. You're on main power?
Yes, Captain.
We'll come back to that later. We need to get fuel put into this ship. I haven't exactly been using the night vision goggles, really. Mostly because the drone lights things up a little bit. Oh. Whoa, closer drone. Whoa. No, thank you. Don't shoot me. That's something we'll have to figure out how to destroy. We have to make a ship that can destroy those patrol things. One of those things. And it's gone. Which I do plan on making. I'm planning on making kind of like a battleship destroyer kind of a ship. Google? Oh, goggles are decent money at trading posts. We haven't found a trading. I think we did. Didn't we find a trading post? I think we've. No, I don't think we found one this playthrough. We have seen them before, but we haven't found a trading post yet this playthrough. Yeah, nothing yet. We did find a farm. We did find a farm located around. It's pointless in single player. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, credits seem like something important for multiplayer because everybody's gonna have remove all the resources. The resources will be removed by the players that were there at the very beginning. Stopped playing for a while now. Burned out doing the same old thing. A couple weeks of tried another go. Server bugged out, leaving a couple CVs floating in midair. Oh man. Yeah. There's always new resources. Meteors fall. Okay. Turn off main power. Turn off main power.
Acknowledged.
Sometimes that don't work. Sometimes it does. Voice command feature. Yay. Okay. Drop, drop, drop. Drop, 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 drop. Drop you, drop you, drop you, drop you. Stairs. Hardened steel blocks. Drop those into here. There we go. We got like 55 combat steel, which we're not going to use for space station. Grab a 200 stack. There we go. But money can be a thing depending on the server. Oh, okay. You just build nowadays? Yeah. I can see getting to a point where you've kind of run out of things to do, so you just kind of build things in creative just to see what happens. Yeah, a lot of the designs I've been making have been just strictly a lot of designs I've been making have been strictly like function rather than form. Making something that just works. And then I'll just eventually over time I'll start pushing the limits on what I can build. Oh, wait. Let's do this. We have to turn this back on. Geometry mode. Y and Z. There we go. Indeed. Building as well for now. Got workshop going. Yeah. I've been seeing a lot of people making a ton of things on the workshop. Some of them I've been subscribing to. I plan on, you know, understanding how that works. Trying to do the blueprints. That way I can kind of look at them and see how the design, understand how they made certain shapes. In fact, if I could find a particular blueprint that has made like a dome kind of a shape, probably be I'll just immediately build that into the world and have a look at it, figure out how they did it. Not that way. Not that way. There we go. Got 3,400 hours in the game, so yeah. Have we? There it is. Okay. Just trying to rotate it once and then figure out where I need to drop. There we go. Not there. We gotten all four? We believe we have. Okay. We can do this. The first PV I organized way before workshop, way before blueprints. Building was more important skill than flying. Quick building, right? I bet. In a PvP environment, you want to build your ships and your base fast. Okay. I could see that being very, very important. Yeah, I do recognize that this kind of a base just couldn't be done in PvP. You just couldn't. Because it's a giant target and everybody's going to try to destroy it. It's a base that just couldn't exist in that kind of environment. That's why once I build a couple of designs that work for single player, then I'll start trying to come up with designs that would work in a PvP environment. PvP is still very anticlimactic in this game. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that being a problem. Do this. Rotate. There we go. I may have to go over to the other side to make sure that the blocks were added correctly. Because I had 7 in my inventory and when I dropped, so there's probably 1 missing on the other side. Like, most servers have problems anyway. Now try fast battle with mini turrets, etc. Yeah, people get dropped. I hear ya. There's always difficulties when it comes to making a game in a PV that is player versus player. The gameplay changes, the difficulty changes. Ah, yep, knew it. Knew there was something missing. There we go. Yeah. We'll make our truss here. But I'm always up for trying to try and go, play the game and then come up with suggestions for the developers. Like, okay, well, this would be better if, or the game would be better if you did this instead, stuff like that. In hopes that they are actually listening, Because that's the marks of a good developer, is if they're actually listening to their core audience and trying to make the game better. It's just not ready for it, even though it's recommend servers to have 20 plus people. Oh, 20 people max. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Until they figure out how to make a PvP gameplay a little bit more exciting, I guess. There we go. That's why I'm having high hopes for Duel. They are about to But the server tech more than the game, so maybe if we're a massive player. Oh yeah, capital ship battles. Having multiple players on one ship, all working together. That would be awesome. So you have multiple players, you know, some of them connected into turrets and shooting while one is flying, one's managing the power, stuff like that. That'd be cool. That'd be pretty sweet. Okay, down this way. How are we doing? Okay. I need to get more resources. More stuff. Imagine being a server company and telling people no on some indie game. Yeah, right? Like, no, no. Just no. But why won't you let me? Just no. I'm gonna go to the other side and make sure that everything is filled in, lined up, all that good stuff. Yeah. That's all filled in. Okay. Go over to the other side, make sure that it filled in correctly, and then we'll make the truss. God, this base is gonna look epic when it's finished. I love it. I'm kind of my inspiration for this space station is kind of like a oversized massive version of like the ISS, International Space Station. Like something that's way bigger than that, but similar in style. Okay. Oh, blocks. Okay. Time is needed, I'm afraid, is going to work against the game. That small dev team, yeah. Small dev teams, smaller the dev team, the longer it will take to complete. True. Let's see here. Okay, how are we looking on meters? 350 meters. Telemetry mode, please. And please, thank you. Just want to turn that off. Okay. Got my money's worth of it, so whatever. Yeah. Okay. Well, we've been able to get a lot more height on this thing. We added like probably 200 meters onto this thing already. I would like to see this game finished. I would. Okay. Get something to eat. And now that I know that I've got a lot of room to make things, I almost want to be able to make the Citadel for Mass Effect. Which, I mean, I could have a separate save that's creative for like massive structures like that, I guess. Maybe. Just imagine waiting another 5 years. Okay. Grab that. Go back in here. We're gonna make some food real quick. We don't starve to death. That would be horrible. The good thing is that even if it means that the game takes forever to go through, at least they're making progress. At least, you know, every week or so they're actually coming out with an update, coming out with a fix. You know, at least they're doing something. I've played some early access games, some survival early access games where nothing has happened for like months, where they haven't done anything. No word, no messages, no updates, just nothing. And it's just like, are they even still doing it? Yeah, no one can say they don't. They're working. They're actually doing things. I've played way too many survival games where nothing happened at all. It's just like, well, okay then. Which, when it comes to any indie company, that's more than what you can ask for. Having an actual company that actually does stuff. I hear that as well. I got a couple of those in my game library. Yeah, I've played survival games that just have nothing at all, no waves whatsoever. Just sad. It's just like, I don't want that finished. But oh well. I think the problem is they wanted a game for a few friends to play and then wants 200 pop servers. Yeah, right? I hear you. Anyway, it's about that time. I gotta get out of here. I gotta go to work. Thank you all for hanging out with me, discussing video games, and I'm gonna get out of here, go work. I might be streaming tonight, depending on how badly work kicks my ass. So I'm probably gonna be playing some WoW tonight. New expansion that came out. Tomorrow I'm going to be playing this game. We're going to be trying to get that central core finished. We're going to try and get the central core of the space station finished, get it to max height, and then we'll start adding modules onto this thing and going outward from the central core. Anyway, I'll see y'all later. Stay alive out there. Don't drop your drink. I'll see y'all later. Bye.